huge one has been the crisis in Flint. A tragic situation. We have a situation where the water's unsafe to drink still today. How did it happen? All it took were several career civil servants that had 20, 30 years service, that technically read rules and didn't use common sense. When it changed to the Flint River, instead of saying we should add $150 a day of chemicals to do corrosion controls, they read the rule to say we should do 2 6-month studies. And while those 6-month studies were going on, the corrosion controls, the protection on that pipes wore away. And that allowed lead to get into the water system. It's time to solve that problem. I can tell you my focus and approach is, when you have a problem, you go after it and solve it. And I take this personally. Those folks work for me. And so what I'm doing is trying to represent the values I grew up with. If someone works for you and something goes wrong, shouldn't you take responsibility for it? That's where I'm a Michigander and a proud one. That's how we were raised. And when you have a problem like that, do you roll up in a ball or do you walk away? You don't. You stand up and say, I'm going to fix it. And that's what we're doing. So we're going to continue on that path. But one of the lessons we need to learn out of Flint, why do we do solutions there, is to understand one of the fundamental things that we still need to address in our state is all our infrastructure. It's time. It's actually overdue. The context I'll give you is, if I was standing here last year or the year before, what would you hear out of me most likely? I'd be talking about road funding, right? And why was that? Because we had crumbling infrastructure. And why did roads get first priority? Because you hit a pothole. We put a solution in place. We addressed roads. But think about it. Just as you could hit a pothole and you could feel it, just because it's buried beneath the ground doesn't mean it doesn't have potholes itself. And that's what's going on with our water systems, our sewer systems, our pipelines, and long-term opportunities to do more broadband. These are investments we need to make. The country has a huge national problem on this. Let's be a leader and learn from our issues, our challenges, and show it's not about just catching up, but to take a leadership position. And so that's why in the State of the State I called for a 21st Century Infrastructure Commission that's kicked off through the course of this year, is to look at those questions, not just for today, but how do we set that format for everything from roads to water pipes to sewer, and build a system that's sustainable, that's doing good long-term things. And you should be proud, Lansing in particular, with the Bureau of Water and Light. You've done good things in this town. You're actually a role model that's been helping in Flint, so thank you for your help there.